All right.
Up next, um, let's see here. We had Big Show versus Bray Wyatt. Uh, Big Show technically ends up winning this by disqualification because as soon as he starts to get an advantage, Harper runs in for the DQ.
This might be my only semi-rant of this program. Surprise, right? Because everything else I think was more rant-worthy probably than this was. But what got me so upset about this is that I don't know if anybody remembers, and that's why I got so hot, because I did. I did remember. When Bray Wyatt was getting ready to face John Cena at WrestleMania, Big Show was one of the people he beat. He beat him clean on an episode of SmackDown. And the booking was brilliant because anytime Big Show got offense, Bray laughed in his face. And now we're here. So I posed the question, what the heck happened? Who screwed the pooch?
WWE's short-term memory, dude.
I don't want to go all the way down the rabbit hole of that rant because we've talked about Bray Wyatt, and let's not kid ourselves. Could I really add anything new to the discussion? Of course not. But seeing this, it really crystallized for me how much things have changed. Because you can say it and you can see certain things and you could be like, oh yeah, definitely. And you know it's true. But seeing this, when Bray Wyatt not only handled Big Show a while ago, but he handled him so well as to make Big Show, 7-foot behemoth, this attraction in himself, seem like a laughingstock because everything he threw at him was meant with a malicious smile. I miss that Bray Wyatt because all Bray Wyatt has become, and I say this out of love and it's killing me to do this, he's become a guy just like any other heel. He can say the most flowery things, the most beautiful language. He can rally the troops. But when it comes time to go to war, he's the first one to pull the white flag out. And it's not even him. It's the family. But you don't see Bray chastise them over it. You don't see a later segment on the app or a SmackDown saying, how dare you get in my way? I don't need you to win my wars for me, which would be appropriate. They just go on about their business. Where is the guy that wins wars without even lifting a finger? That's the guy I want on my TV, and I'm sick and tired of having to make excuses for him saying, he's young, he's got time. Screw that. Screw that. Because if you told that to the NXT guys, they would tell you the same thing. They'd say, no, we don't have time, because our time is right now.
I feel
So,
like you're basically just kind of parroting what I said for our Raw request last week when I said, don't make young guys look bad just because they're young.
and it really crystallized for me here, and you're absolutely right. Like, remembering that Raw request, and you're absolutely right, because I'm seeing this here, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I wanted to believe, but then thinking about that and then seeing this, you're right. It's a bunch of crap. It really is, because when they're good now, why not do it now? I mean, they did it for Randy Orton, and we kind of even made a joke of it. Oh, well, Randy Orton's a product of nepotism. And that, when you see booking like this, maybe it's not so much a joke. Because, I mean, they gave Randy so much at such a young age. They gave him a program with a Mick Foley, who, in my opinion, at that time, back in 2004, could still go. He has remarked in multiple writings and interviews that their match at Backlash, Foley was in the best shape of his life, and it was one of the best outings of his career. And I've seen the match, and I agree. And they put that on Randy's shoulders, and he ran with it. Where is that same trust here? Now, you could say you had it because you gave Bray Wyatt John Cena, but look at how that turned out. They had the brilliant choir segment. I think Bray did his job, but you didn't do right by him. This guy has one of the best gimmicks, I think, to ever come along in quite some time, in quite a number of years. If for nothing else, speaking for myself personally, and now he struggles to beat the Big Show. I don't know. It was what it was. Match got thrown out with Wyatt family interference. You already know that Big Show and Mark Henry on SmackDown beat the Wyatt family and GoldStar when they tagged alongside the Usos, because that's a new Mega Ultra Team OP. The Wyatt family, after the Shield dissolved, should have been running shop. They should have been the mob bosses collecting everything. And now, even though they're still together, I mean, what's the freaking point? do something. And I'm not even saying it to them. I mean, I don't know if you saw, Ashton, but on Puitov, I did a post where it was rumored that Bray may be set to feud with Ziggler over the IC Championship.
Yep.
And I wrote in that post, hey, kids, remember when we all thought Bray was above the IC title? Yeah, me too. But at this point, with all the interference and all the throwaway losses because they just can't seem to trust in Bray, and because Bray doesn't discipline them, that tells me on an even deeper level Bray can't trust in himself, despite his words to the contrary. It seems like an IC championship feud is a welcomed gift, and that repulses me.
Yep.
So, there you go. That's my personal rant for the day. I guess, like Ashton said, pretty much parodying his Raw request, which I apologize. Because, yeah, everything I'm saying, he's already said. That's why I even said earlier, I'm not going to add anything new to the discussion. But I was just so angry seeing that I at least wanted to address it here. Because heat of the night, I mean, why make it so when it's happened before? You know, it's not like this is anything new or offensive. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't rub me the wrong way all the same. So.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I am on the same page as you 100%. I'm just glad that you could get that out of your system because I got it out of my system last week, so now we're even, kind of.
Yeah, there you go. Then there you go. So,
all right. After the Wyatt Big Show thing and the Wyatt family interference and that kind of stuff, we had a 6-man tag, Usos and Sheamus versus Cesaro and GoldStar, and yet another example of, babyfaces win.
Babyfaces win. However, coming down from my rant only a few seconds prior here, I did have a lot of fun with this match. I thought it had a lot of great back and forth and really knew how to utilize the 6-man structure, especially the end, because I always enjoy when tag team matches break down, and this had an excellent breakdown. My only complaint is, again, just what you said. Babyfaces win, because I thought after Cesaro hit the neutralizer on, I want to say, it was Sheamus. I think it was Sheamus because he got the bro kick on Stardust, and then I think Cesaro capitalized and he got the neutralizer. And then this would actually be close to a heat of the night, but again, I felt like what's the point because it's really nothing new. Not only do the Usos break up that pin, which I felt like was a big no-no because Cesaro could have used that momentum of getting in the champion's head and, he pinned the United States champion. What could that mean for Sunday? But you have the Usos do their typical thing, and one of the Usos actually pinned Cesaro. One of the tag team champions beat a guy that's currently the number one contender for a mid-card championship that we have said, because of its holders and the reins behind it, is right behind the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Too strong?
Yeah, I'd say. Like, even if Sheamus pinned Cesaro, I would have grumbled about it, but it would have been like, it's whatever. But for one of the Usos to get that distinction, really? You couldn't have Goldust eat the pin? You know, you really should be protecting Cesaro this close to a pay-per-view against a guy like freaking Sheamus over the United States title, and you opt for him to eat it. It makes no sense. And again, it's bad enough that babyfaces went over as is, but in this way, come on, guys.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say on that, or are we going to go to the next infuriating segment? My God, it's like dominoes over here.
I mean, it's at this point, when you've got the Usos and Sheamus on the same team, I have no hope for whoever is lining up across from them.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And here's the thing. Sheamus not having gotten the pin is going to make the fans like Sheamus even more.
Right.
And I think we really need to establish that it's like the WWE has entered some kind of superhero era where, like, John Cena is the king. Sheamus, or not even Sheamus anymore. Roman Reigns is the prince. The Usos are the frickin' court jesters. And I don't know what role Sheamus plays, but those 5 guys specifically they all look unstoppable. And only one of them isn't holding a title. And that's because the WWE sees him as being above every title but the WWE World title, which is John Cena's toy to play with.
I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly. What's so funny about Sheamus, though, And you think that they would have learned by this, because Sheamus, even though he is a champion and he's still dominant. I mean, he's not weak by any means, but you can definitely tell, Ashton, and at least in my opinion, that I think he's lost a little bit of steam in terms of like his dominance and like being that overly strong, and like him not picking up the pin. Like, yeah, he outpopped Reigns because he's not that strong guy anymore, running roughshod over everybody. And you think WWE would have learned, well, gee, fans are coming back to Sheamus. They didn't like him before when he was destroying everybody. Maybe the fans don't like when babyfaces have it come so easy to them. And yet there's Roman Reigns. So, like, it's so crazy, dude. And the Usos. Man, I am sick of them as tag team champions. I'd almost want GoldStar to beat them at Night of Champions if I still wasn't holding out this delusional hope that the Ascension was going to do the honors. So, I'm just, our babyface lineup, man. Let's get some heels up in here.
Yep.
We'll see.
I hope. Well, I mean, hey, as long as Brock Lesnar retains the title at Night of Champions, I still hold out hope.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Brock Lesnar is one of the best things going right now. Believe us on that.
Yeah. All right, so up next, we get Renee Young interview talking to Randy Orton backstage about the whole "it's the season premiere, Chris" segment from last week.
Yeah, and we get a recap of that. Then Renee interviews Randy, and then Randy says, well, Renee, what did you expect? Jericho said last week that I've been handed everything in this business, and that's just simply not true. It's not my fault that Chris has had to work twice as hard to earn half as much as I have, which I felt like was a great line from Randy. He's just so good at being a natural asshole. And given some of the stories I've read about him over the years, that may not be such a stretch. And yeah, he pretty much says, at Night of Champions, he's gonna, be victorious over Chris Jericho. And then, hey, here's a thought. Maybe you can finally get that rematch. I'm sorry, I'm not going to let it go. Beat Jericho. Move on to your rematch, please. Can we get that addressed? Be nice. But yeah, solid promo from Orton. Again, even though it does kind of irk me that Jericho has been having some of the strongest booking he's had in quite some time, and it's all going to go to Orton. Maybe that's because he'll get his rematch. There's a silver lining I can make out of it, or maybe it's just because WWE didn't know what else to do, which seems far more likely. But either way, it should be a good match. I think these two could put on something good, so I'm actually looking forward to it despite all my gripes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hopefully it ends up being a good match. I mean, it's two of the best workers in the WWE, so I can't imagine it won't be a good match. I just hope it's not boring.
Right.